What's up everybody, Leaf here, and I am back with another arena breakdown video for you. Now, I just want to say up front that this is my opinion. I am far from an expert on the game, but I do want to try to give you guys some insight on what's going on in Midgar and what you might want to try to do. So as you know, Midgar is a pretty big stage, with a lot of obstacles and a lot of height to it. So the first thing you want to think about is where the best position in the stage is for your team. And in my opinion, that area is here. And I say that because as you can see, there's a summon core that appears right here where we just were, and that back right corner where you can see, and the back left corner where you can't see this corner of the stage. And there's the summon core that appears back here, right on this platform. And there's also a couple that appear over here. So I would say that you want to hold the center point of the stage and push your enemy into one of the corners. It doesn't really matter which corner, but you want to push them into a corner so that they only have access to one summon core, and the rest of the summon cores are there for you to take. Right? My recommendation is to push the enemy into this back corner, because there's only the one summon core that appears over here, and if you've got the middle of the stage, then you have at least 4 other summon core spawn locations to your advantage. Now, I happen to think this is a particularly bad stage for marksmen, because of all the obstacles. Unless you stay up at the bridge height or maximum platform height, these obstacles will all get in the way of your attacks. But the cool thing about Midgar is that there are attacks that go through these platforms. For instance, Cloud, his Blade Beam goes through all the platforms in the stage. See, I made contact with him there, and of course, that also means that his Blade Beam goes through these platforms. It's easy to see. So, about these platforms, this is a place where the match often gets really hectic as people want to push people into these walls and these corners. So, one thing to remember is that these platforms are just a single jump high. It may not seem like much, but just knowing your way to get around these can be really helpful in a crisis, because you just don't want to get caught on platforms like this and be stuck. And then the same thing for this area. You can run up this wall, but you can't. If you run up accidentally one of these walls, it's not going to do you much good. So these are just 2 jumps high. Just little things you might want to know. Like Alexandria, you probably want to avoid getting caught in these areas, because you will die. You have no escape right here. Let me see if I can pull Sephiroth to this summon core. Let's extend the video a little bit. So one thing I like to think about in this stage is HP attacks. And here is another thing that, another obstacle that Cloud can Blade Beam through, that normally when you think you're on this side of this obstacle, there's no way for you to attack, but you actually can. Sephiroth should go ahead and summon. Okay. So, the summons I like in this stage, I've picked both of them, are Odin and Ifrit. And I like Odin in every big stage if I don't have a concern like EX skills, to use one of the 3 EX skill summons, or just an attack plan with Shiva, because in large stages, if you get pushed out of your team formation, it can be very difficult to get back to your team, or to get out of a lockdown situation. So Odin's dash gauge buff is really helpful. So in all big stages, I always consider if I think it's worth it to use Odin over and above something else I might have planned on using. And I choose Ifrit because simply he's just got big attacks. They take a lot of area. If you were to get caught in these corridors during Ifrit's summon, then it could be difficult to get out. And on those corridors, I would say that unless you know what your plan is, you don't want to be caught in them. For instance, I started to mention HP attacks earlier. Vertical HP attacks are really good in this stage, because you've got these corridors that people are locked in, and you kind of just take up the area. So meteors are good, divine malison, any attack like that. Although I will say that I avoid Golbez's twin meteor because if twin meteor clips the edge of one of these platforms, it will go away. I wanted to show you the upward hitbox on Meteor Rain. But yeah, don't let anyone say that I was advocating Meteor Rain Cloud. But you know, Meteor Rain does have an upward hitbox, so if you notice someone coming over the platform, you could use it and it would guarantee the hit. The upward hit combos into the downward hit that has the HP portion. So just things to think about. You want to know which attacks will go through the platforms. You want to have in mind the best way to get over the platforms for the situation. Like Alexandria, you want to make sure you're not cornering yourself in any of those platforms. You want to make use of the height of the platforms yourself. You don't want to be at the mercy of the height of the platform. So in the back area, there's those tall pillars. You can climb right up those and see the whole stage. It gives every character a chance to do the type of thing that usually only Zidane and Tidus can do. There, I pronounced both of their names correctly just for YouTube. And you want to make sure that you know your way around the stage and how to get back to your team. There's probably more I can say, but as you know, I wanted to keep these quick and concise videos. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment any questions down in the description or requests as well. And finally, I do want to give a big shout out to Nickleos on YouTube, the Squall player you see in some of my videos that goes by iSquall. You're about to notice a serious uptick in the quality of my thumbnails, and that is all thanks to him, and I really, really appreciate it. So I will see you guys next time with another Arena Breakdown.